Television, thank you so much for joining me on this edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast. We are sorry for the late start. We begin with our major stories. The population of Kwabang in Yaoundé are still in shock after a girl was allegedly killed by the father of her 3-year-old daughter. Unable to digest the fact that the mother of his child decided to end their relationship, the suspect went ahead to kill her and later committed suicide. Details in this edition of the news. And still in this edition of the news, we'll tell you how a forceful eviction exercise leaves several traders at the Kululu market in the Douala 2 subdivision stranded. The traders decried the fact that they were given a very sharp notice to evacuate the site. According to them, the action will rather increase the high rate of unemployment in the country. Those are major stories. Stay with us for details and more. We begin this edition of the news in Yaoundé as the Ghana family in Kwabang is still devastated following the killing of their daughter on Tuesday by her ex-boyfriend called Diamang, who was not ready to quit the relationship. He took away his own life and left a note saying why he decapitated the mother of his 3-year-old daughter and where he dumped her remains. Innocent Aze reports.
The Makaba Act was committed in Kwabang in the Mefwana Farmer Division of the Central Region. The lady's remains were found in a bush around this parish. She was murdered on Tuesday by her ex-boyfriend, father of their 3-year-old daughter, who could not see her dump him for another man. She says her sister used to go around with a guy in the quarter, known to be her new boyfriend. She asked him to accompany her that fateful Tuesday morning to meet the father of her daughter, who demanded to see her. 4 hours later, Stephanie got a distress call of the tragic incident. Her neighbor announced that her sister's ex-boyfriend had committed suicide and left a note. He killed the mother of his child, Stephanie's sister. The killed lady, according to family sources, dumped Jamang, father of her daughter, because of his hostility. She was afraid of the boy because he used to pounce on her mercilessly. I used to intervene and report to my mother. The guy said since I used to protect her, when next he will grab her, I won't be there for her protection. Stephanie's sister dumped Jamang 2 years ago, but he was not ready to live without her. My daughter had told him she was no longer interested in him, but the boy kept chasing her around, saying to death do them apart. Father of the deceased lady reveals he had visited the boy's parents, telling them he did not want their son to have anything to do with his daughter again. He had tabled a complaint at the Nkwabang police station, but the boy disappeared. The killing of his daughter has left the entire family devastated. The young man, known to be the deceased lady's new boyfriend and who accompanied her to the appointment venue to meet her ex-boyfriend, has also been arrested by the Nkwabang police for interrogation to shed more light on this incident.
And over here in the city of Douala, a supposed project for the construction of modern shops at the Kululu market in the Douala 2 subdivision is being marred by a controversial lack of clarity and public accountability. The project, which is surrounded by unanswered questions to the council, provoked a large demolition exercise in the Kululu market today. Traders say material damage is estimated at hundreds of million francs CFA. From Armstrong Sanda tells us more.
It was a disturbing start of the new month for these traders of the Kululu market in the Douala 2 subdivision, who say they got news of the demolition at 5 a.m.
So our greatest surprise today, we come in for 5 o'clock morning time. My friend, they call me, they told me they outside the work market.
The hundreds of victims cried forward, saying that they were asked to quit at last minute.
Yesterday we were surprised as many authorities came by and told us that maybe today they will be broken the market. So actually they broke us without no reason. They just gave us only a month.
The quit notice from the Douala 2 Council, according to the traders, said the Douala 2 Council intended to construct new stores and modern shops in the area. They are worried that the council failed to engage a formal agreement with them which should guarantee their safe and easy return to the shops upon completion.
Yeah, they are destroying to rebuild a new market, so we are waiting to see. What we want is that they should at least have the mind to let us come back with the new shop they want to build with the favorable prices, so we could maybe we could have a position of a shop, because the price they gave at La Garda, it's very, very exorbitant, so it would be maybe more than us.
Our request to get the Douala 2 Council to confirm the projected construction on the demolished site was not granted. All efforts to get the mayor of the Douala 2 Council, Dennis Fampo, to talk proved abortive.
And Human Rights Watch has urged Cameroon authorities to deliver a fair and impartial judicial process that respects both Bobda's defense rights and the human rights. In a statement, the rights organization said the ultimate goal is to ensure zero tolerance for sexual violence in the future, including strengthening the justice system to properly handle reports of sexual violence. Babila Jonathan spoke to lawyer of the alleged sexual predator and now tells us more from the Littoral Judicial Police, where the suspect is currently being detained.
Evin Bobda is still in police custody in the Littoral Judicial Police right behind me, and the judicial police officers are carrying on with the investigations with regards to the accusations leveled against Evin Bobda. And of course, we are talking about accusations of sexual assault. Evin Bobda was arrested after the military court issued an arrest warrant against him in connection to illegal manipulation or unlawful manipulation of a firearm, which he said to have been using to threaten his victims before sexually assaulting them. And we met with the lawyer of Evin Bobda, barrister Roland Ashu, and we asked him what he knows about all the allegations going viral on social media.
So far, we have not had any evidence, nothing concrete to substantiate the allegations.
We asked barrister Roland Ashu why his client is in police custody.
Cameroon state of law, and I believe if they are keeping him there is for protection, so that proper investigations will unfold to know the truth about this.
Now, what are the legal steps that barrister Roland Ashu is taking with regards to the rights of his client, with regards to the fact that his client is still a suspect as of now? This is what he told us.
If I had to get a summon against Azumantu, it's on the fact that he claims that he have 1,000 victims, and I have given 48 hours for him to provide those victims, which expired yesterday. He hasn't provided even 2 victims so far. As far as the law is concerned, he's still presumed innocent. He still have a background law. He's presumed innocent until proven guilty by a competent court or a competent trial.
The investigations are going on, and when we know more, we will tell you more about this case.
And in a similar story, the family of Evin Bobda has frowned at those judging and sentencing him on social media. In a release, the family says Evin Bobda's presumption of innocence must be respected as guaranteed by the Constitution of Cameroon. According to them, they are conscious that Evin Bobda is not above the law in Cameroon, but insist that he should not be below the law either. Femi Armstrong Sanda reports.
Family of Evin Bobda, Evin cannot be above the law in Cameroon, but should not be below the law either. The family says it has already discussed with Evin Bobda following the seriousness of the accusations and requests that his presumption of innocence, guaranteed by the Constitution of Cameroon to all citizens in such circumstances, be respected, especially considering the fact that Evin Bobda has denied involvement in various acts of violence and aggressions of which he is accused through the anonymous testimonies published on social media. While confirming that it has taken note of the numerous shocking denunciations which flood the web as well as the complaints filed against the accused, the family says it is relying on the Cameroonian justice system so that this serious affair can be definitely clarified. They also decry what they qualify as the hasty sentencing on social networks which have already caused irreparable damage to the image of the family. The family reveals that Evin Boba also filed a complaint for defamation and cyber crimes against the authors of the online publications. A bailiff, through a summon dated January the 30th on the order of Mr. Evin Boba, required the whistleblowers to produce within 48 hours 1,000 names and contacts of the victims as alleged on digital platforms. The man of the law continues by specifying that failure to produce the said names will lead to national and international legal proceedings against the main author of the publications. To the national and international media organs, the bailiff asks to refrain from any further communication until proof of these allegations are provided under penalty of legal proceedings for defamation. Few days ago, the Cameroonian government, through the Minister of Women's Empowerment and the Family, encouraged all victims to break their silence and to break the chain of violence, welcoming the opening of an investigation to establish the veracity of the facts against Evin Boba.
And on to other news. Water shortage remains a major preoccupation to residents of Kumba and Bonaberi Douala 4 subdivision. Residents say they cover very long distances to fetch the precious liquid. The visit of members of the Rotary Club of Dua has changed the narrative after they offered a borehole to the population of Kumba. Asia Luciliango witnessed the inauguration ceremony and now reports for the 6 p.m. news.
Access to potable water has been a challenge to the inhabitants of Kumba, Bonaberi, Douala 4 subdivision. Worst is during the dry season when most taps go dry. Elizabeth, a housewife, says most of the times they cover long distances in search of a borehole, and this weighs a lot on them, as sometimes the owners have a specific time to open the boreholes. Having heard the cry of the population of Kumba, the Rotary Club International,
this borehole has cost more than 5 million francs, and we intend to replicate the same action in other quarters in Bonaberi. Rotary is there to serve population, to serve people in needs, and we are very happy to do this work, to give water to children, to mothers, and avoid them to have some disaster.
The mayor of Douala 4, Dr. Mobin Edward, during the inauguration, urged the population to be cautious.
We asked the population to keep that borehole in good condition, and we are ready to help them to try to for the conservation, for the maintenance of that gift.
The initiative by the Rotary Club, according to the population, is a relief.
Je vous remercie grandement pour cette journée que vous êtes venus nous offrir de l'eau. Nous sommes heureux.
The Rotary Club International has as mission improving the health of the population, providing quality education, alleviating poverty, ensuring economic and community development, amongst others.
Take you out of our borders precisely to Senegal to give you latest updates on preparations being made ahead of the 25th of February presidential elections. While in charge, new members of the Constitutional Council have been appointed to supervise the country's upcoming elections. And elsewhere, the CEOs of Meta, TikTok, and other social media platforms say they are about enforcing policies which will prevent children under 13 from using the applications. Details with our reporter, Malakleri.
Lawmakers have launched investigation into the validation process of contenders for this month's presidential election after the independence of 2 judges at the Constitutional Council was thrown into doubt. The country is getting set for February 25th elections, with voters choosing from 20 contenders who the council cleared this month to run for office. The election campaign officially begins on February 3rd, 2024. And over to Chad, the transitional president Muhammad Idris Deby Itno signed 3 decrees appointing members of the Constitutional Council and the Election Management Agency, which must supervise the general elections scheduled before next October. The opposition is up against institutions totally dominated, according to it, by the former ruling party, members of parliament and its allies. The government assures him that the main opponents are involved in this process. And elsewhere, the CEOs of Meta, TikTok, X and other social media companies have testified before the Senate Judiciary Committee about child safety on their platforms. The hearing on Wednesday came as lawmakers in the United States of America are growing increasingly concerned about the effects of social media on young people's lives. The hearing began with recorded testimony from kids and parents who said they or their children were exploited on social media. Throughout the hours-long event, parents who lost their children to suicide silently held up pictures of their dead kids. Republican and Democratic senators came together in a rare show of agreement throughout the hearing, though it's not clear if it will be enough to pass legislation to boost child safety online.
Now we dive straight away to our sports page as African football teams like Morocco, Senegal, Egypt, Cameroon, Ghana, Algeria and Tunisia all left the competition, that is the ongoing Africa Cup of Nations taking place in Cote d'Ivoire prematurely, giving way to other teams. In the upcoming report, Siri Chakutio tells us more about the teams that have qualified for the next phase.
The ongoing 34th edition of the Africa Cup of Nations has had several surprises so far. Most of the teams considered as favorites have been booted out of the competition. The reigning champion Senegal, who won all their 3 matches during the first stage, were knocked out by Cote d'Ivoire, the host of the competition. Morocco, who won in 1976, was in search of a second trophy but were knocked out by South Africa. Algeria on their side, which won the 32nd edition, are knocked out for the second consecutive time in an African competition. Cameroon, Tunisia, Egypt and Ghana are also favorite teams knocked out of the competition. Meanwhile, other teams which were considered as weak are advancing gradually but surely. Teams like Cape Verde and the Democratic Republic of Congo were underrated yet are making huge surprises. Who will be able to seize this opportunity, write a new chapter in history and lift the prestigious trophy? The answers will emerge in the days to come, promising an unforgettable football show.
On a similar story, the first 2 semi-finalists for the African Nations Cup will be known this Friday after the first games of the quarterfinals scheduled for the Alassane Ouattara and Felix Houphouët-Boigny Stadia. Ahead of the games, a pre-match press conference took place at the Trinchville Conference Center, with all 4 coaches declaring the readiness of their players. Smaji Kangable followed up the pre-match press conferences in Abidjan and now reports.
You're welcome to the conference room here in Trinchville, where the 2 different press conferences just ended out here. In the first pre-match press conference, we insist that Jose Peseiro, the coach of the Super Eagles of Nigeria, was present alongside Alex Iwobi, while we also had the coach of Angola national football team, Pedro Concalves, who was also here to tell us how prepared the team was. And one common similarities within the 2 coaches: first, there are 2 Portuguese coaches that will be clashing against each other in the first quarter-final game of the AFCON. And one other thing that we noticed about the 2 coaches was the fact that both sides have studied each other, and all of them, they know the weak points of each team that will be playing in the game that will be coming up on a Friday. Angola is one of the most scoring teams at the round of 16 that just ended, while Nigeria is one of the most defensive side, and both coaches say they are not going to do any changes to the lineup they had in their previous encounters. In the other pre-match press conference, we saw Kaba Diawara and Sebastien Desabre, who came in to represent Guinea and the Democratic Republic of Congo. According to Sebastien Desabre, the African Nations Cup is not a one of surprises, but one of fighting spirit, and both coaches say they are going to take the advantages they have in their upcoming games. The 2 quarterfinal matches will be played later on in Abidjan on Friday. We have at 5 p.m. Abidjan time and 6 p.m. in Cameroon, Nigeria, that will be taking on Angola at the Felix Houphouët-Boigny Stadium, and at 8 p.m. Ivorian time it will be 9 p.m. out there in Yaoundé, when the Democratic Republic of Congo will be taking on their Guinean counterpart. At the conference room here in Trinchville, we have Joel Esenge and Carlos Minwe, Sman Jikan Gabriel on special assignment for Equinoxe Television.
It's a bunch Magic and Gabriel. Let's now take a listen to this excerpt of Coach Jose Pizarro and Alex Iwobi, selected for us by Magic and Gabriel at the end of the press conference.
Against one team, didn't win AFCON. It's no big name in Africa, but is playing well. They are doing very well. They show capacity. No the lucky, but the capacity for each quarters final. They want to win, of course, but I think they don't want more win than us. The both teams want to win this match for each semi-final. Our team only must keep our way, a good way, consistent way. Our team until now suffered one goal in 4 matches and score 5. We want to keep this capacity and quality for create opportunity and score, and at the same time.
We've watched their videos. We're trying to see where we can exploit their weaknesses. It's going to be a hard game. They did well in the last game, scoring a lot of goals. But we've been defending well as well, so it's going to be a tough game. But hopefully we do what we need to do and prepare right so we can go through to the next round.
And now the head coach of Angola, Pedro Gonçalves, says he'll work on the errors of Nigeria to grab the victory tomorrow. Let's take a listen to him in this excerpt.
Actually, Nigeria is really a powerful team. Have players playing in big nations of football, beginning to 5-6 players from lineup playing in Premier League, 2 from Calcio Italia. One of that players I vote for best players of the world in last year, Victor Osimhen. Lookman is a great player. I worked in Sporting Portugal many years, and in this season Lookman had a wonderful performance with Atalanta in Alvalade for the European League. I know, and we studied our opponents. Perhaps in the proceed of the tournament, they begin to play in 4-3-3, then in the second match and further in 3-4-3. 3 central backs, very solid. The wingers with very physical and capacity, physiologic capacity to go and back and go and back. They also have some issues where we are looking for to create difficult in our oppositor. So we will see, but this is a big opportunity for us, an opportunity of one career.
Evin, the head coach of the Silly National of Guinea, Kaba Diawara, says his boys are set for the clash against the Democratic Republic of Congo. He was speaking during the pre-match press conference. Let's take a listen.
It's my team because I'm coaching Guinea, and I hope we'll be ready to fight and give a good image of my country. And if we can do that, I think we can be through, and hopefully we can reach the semi-final in that way.
In order to continuously meet up with the requirements and provide high-quality financial services, the Muku Credit Union Cooperative Limited, during an annual meeting, analyzed their 2023 financial activities to keep track with the company's strengths and weaknesses, while hoping to provide quality services to its numerous clients. Customers were also informed of a 4% payment and a savings of 1.2 interest rate for civil servants. Details in this report.
Monday, 29th of January 2024 marked the 2023 annual report meeting of Muku Credit Union Cooperative Limited, a credible credit union owned and managed by its members, created in 2016.
Mokbe Credit Union Cooperative Limited is a Category 1 microfinance institution that was created in 2016. And of course, the first operating branch went operational in the village. That was on the 16th of March.
Mokbe Credit Union Limited has since its creation 9 branches and now counts 2,017 members.
We have 9 branches, meaning that Muku has gone a long journey. As a result of that, between the period of 2016 now, where we started with 14 members only at the market square, but today, now that we are talking, we can boast of 8,500 members. And then between just the period of 2023, between 2023-24 financial year, there were 2,017 accounts created with a growth ratio of more than 56%.
For a better and efficient job on the terrain, the top management thought it wise to affiliate to Rainbow Cooperative Credit Union Limited, which is a structure at its apex.
Yes, we've had a very cordial working relationship. We do our supervisory role very well. We do train, do capacity building to ensure that the workers are empowered and that they work within the regulations. So we do controls and we do training. And of course, so far so good. If you hear from the management accounts and from the audited accounts, you discover that Muku has been growing from strength to strength, from a balance sheet that started at 200 million. We are now talking about 3.3 billion. This shows the steady growth for the past 4 years.
This meeting was to continuously meet members' requirements and provide high-quality financial services, greatly appreciated by customers who are always satisfied.
For the past 5 years that I've been a customer in Muku, I'm satisfied because of their services. I think this is a financial house to reckon with, and I want to invite everybody to come and be a member so that we can also benefit.
J'ai fait beaucoup de choses avec Muku. J'ai réalisé mes rêves et j'aide mes amis, mon relationnel et tous ceux que je peux rencontrer à réaliser leurs rêves avec Muku.
Mokbe Credit Union Cooperative Limited offer a wide range of products with amazing customer services, gives financial freedom with growth and inclusion at its best.
Mokbe Credit Union is open to all Cameroonians and everywhere in the world too. You can come and create your account. Meaning if you are in Nigeria, you can create your account. If you are from the United States of America, you can create your account. We offer so many products, and among these products, we have certain very, very important ones like remittances. And this year, we will be operating War Remit, we'll be operating Real and MoneyGram.
Again with Muku, your money is well secured. You can send and receive money through your accounts across the nations.
With the software we have acquired, we are able to tell our members who are even in the diaspora that mobile banking is already operational in Mokbe Credit Union. You can consult your accounts from home. You can send money into your account.
At the end of this meeting, clients and members now know that with Mokbe Credit Union Cooperative Limited, dreams become reality.
That advertorial on the Mokbe Credit Union Cooperative Limited put an end to today's edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast on Equinoxe Television. Thank you so much, dear viewers, for your keen attention. Stay in the company of more interesting programs on ETV.